Going into leveling up on your sales skills, a couple different things to focus on as you get from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. The biggest thing that I want you to understand is what I'm going to go over. These are general principles and skills, right? These are things to go focus on if you're not quite at that level yet. And so I want you to understand that. That being said, this is not binary. This is not black and white. I'm trying to create a system that allows you to understand what to go focus on as you're trying to go progress. But that being said, they are relationships. So if you go throughout every other aspect to maintaining relationships and being able to be good with people and only focus on these things, obviously you're not going to go get sales. So this is obviously be a human being, have the foundation of that, but these will hopefully help you progress with that. The other thing is you don't have to go master each one of these. So things bleed into one another, which means that as you're trying to go master one skill, you can start getting better at another one, which allows you to start selling more and more on a regular basis. This is a quote from Stephen Covey, and he talks about this with the 7 habits. And I think it's the exact same. So because my thought is each skill is synergistic. As you get really good with one, they start working with each other. So you don't have to be perfect at one habit to start working on another. You build them together like muscles in the body. It's the exact same. And so as you start working on these, you start building them. It's the same during the summer. You learn words, and then you start learning parables, and you learn how to sound confident. But you may not sound as natural. So then you start sounding natural, and you maybe sound a little bit less confident. It's like a teeter-totter until they all start working in harmony and they start working together, right? These are the skills, level 1, 2, 3, that I think when you have just a base, like just proficiency on level 1, and then base proficiency level 2, and once you start working on level 3, then that's where you start consistently doing 3 to 5 sales a day. If you're looking at the person that sells the 7, 10, 15 on a pretty regular basis, is because it's not just proficient, but they've mastered it. It's to the point where like level 1 is a full habit that they don't have to think about it. They'll never have to actually go say, am I doing A, B, and C, right? And it's the exact same. So I won't go into depth with that, but the principle is they all work together. And so this is not, once again, it's not binary. This is if you're consistently bageling, go focus on level 1. If you're consistently getting 1 to 3 sales a day, now go focus on level 2 so that you can consistently be getting like 4 a little bit more regularly. And then obviously going up from there. So this is what I would look at. So level 1, the 3 things is persistence, hard work, and be happy. So the persistence, I would say that very, very few people actually have the mental resilience to stay on the door until somebody completely shuts the door in their face with every single person they talk to every single day. That is difficult. So what do the best salesmen do? They master everything, and they start mastering level 2 and level 3 to the point where that's not as needed anymore, right? That their persistence isn't what's getting them the sales. They're persistent with the people that they need to be persistent with, but they also recognize what's a time waster. If you are bageling, then you are not at that point. Your job should be willing to go stay on the doors until they shut the door in your face. And I'm not saying always do that, but I'm saying be willing to, because what you're doing is you're quitting at one point, and that's why you're bageling. You're quitting one objection, or sometimes not even an objection. It's a buying question. It's like, oh, dang it, they're not interested, right? So that's the thing, is understand that you could be a lot more persistent. You're quitting here, shutting the door in your face with every single customer is here. And so you need to go find what you're willing to go do and push that boundary until you start consistently getting sales. The work ethic, stop diddle-daddling. Like if you're not at level 1, just getting 1 to 3 sales a day consistently, bageling should not be a regular thing at all. So if you're not getting sales on a consistent basis, then work ethic. Stop walking all the way to the sidewalk. Stop marking your area when you're not on a door. Go be efficient. Your goal is to keep the line in the water. Go talk to customers. Like try to talk to as many people as you can, right? And then to be happy. This is a choice. I won't go into this in full detail, but we have choice. We have agency, right? That is the best part about this. So if you're struggling to go be happy, then go figure out what you need to go do to change that. Where are you focused on? Are you focused on what you're entitled to? Quote unquote entitled to, right? Or are you focused on gratitude? Are you focused on the opportunities? Are you focused on connecting with other people? Are you focused on other people, not yourself? Right? That changes a lot of things. What is your morning routine? What is your night routine? Staying up till 2 a.m. and then you're sleeping in, so you're not able to have a good morning routine. That affects things. So it's look at it directly and indirectly. What's affecting your happiness? Only person that can actually choose how happy you are is you. So go make that choice. Let's go into this. So numbers game. Just gonna raise that up. We'll just block the L. The numbers game is when you're first getting it figured out, just quantity. Just go talk to as many people as you can. Get as far down the pitch as you possibly can. Knowing and keeping the word simple. Like, this is the foundation of it. I have you memorize words because that helps you have the foundation of what to go say. Once you get this pretty mastered, then you'll realize that your features and benefits slightly fluctuate. Keep it simple, but the exact words don't matter as much, right? Because what you're communicating, only 10% of that is the words, right? 60% is your body language and 30% is your paraverbals. Obviously, that fluctuates depending on the study, but the general idea is that. So you have to know this, though. This is foundational. Otherwise, there is no communication in terms of them buying from you without actual words being transferred. Content communication. Sticking to the roadmap. Understanding that. Intro, all the way down through price. What are you doing? And then after price, understanding the overcoming objection cycle. And then I said overcoming 3 to 5 objections. Let's just go back to the fact that this is not binary. Like, I like logic. I like to go look at ways to go measure certain things. But that being said, it's not binary. It's not you have to go do this exact same thing and it's a perfect formula. It's not like that. So that being said, when I'm saying overcome 3 to 5 objections, I'm saying you're persistent and you're adding value enough to actually see whether they would want to buy from you, right? I want to go into basics of paraverbals and then the basics of body language. So the biggest thing that I see with rookies is, one, their volume isn't loud enough. So you have to go speak louder. Rarely do I hear a rookie that is speaking too loudly. So for the most part, assume that you're not speaking loud enough. And you sound very, very passive, and you sound kind of pansy-ish. You don't sound very confident. You don't sound like the person they want to go buy from. And then the other thing that I see consistently in somebody that's bagling on a regular basis is just pausing to be interrupted. You just go and you say your intro and you say, "Hey, I'm Tanner with Moxie Pest Control." I said pest control. Are you going to cut me off? Oh, okay. Sweet. You're not interested. I'm sorry, man. I'll move on to the next story. But that's what I typically see, right? So don't do that. Don't wait for them to interrupt you, because if you treat them in that way, if your paraverbals are, "Hey, I'm expecting you to go interrupt me because I'm just intruding," that is how they're going to treat you. Basics body language. Biggest thing, confident stance. You shifting back and forth. You just look super nervous. You look like you can't be trusted. You look like you're thinking about robbing their house if they don't answer the door. The solid eye contact. If you're looking all over, if you can't actually make solid eye contact and connect with the customer, this isn't just confidence. This is connecting. So I like to go look at the black of their eyes before I actually start talking, right? Because it just makes sense for communicating with people. And then the other one is just the natural, consistent head nod. Because if your head is just like this and you're just doing the poker face the entire time, they're not going to buy from you, because that's not normal. Like, consistently, we're going like this. We're nodding our head as we're talking to people, and we're shaking our head if we're not doing it. It's like, I can't believe that he did that, right? That's normal. But if you just freeze and like, I can't believe that he did that. How good of how normal do you actually look with that? So it's not even just about persuasion. It's just looking normal. Because remember, all the skills, everything that we're talking about with this, these are just what confidence, persuasive people already do. Natural, normal people do. We're just trying to go extract that to help people sell better, to help people be more influential, right? But it's not like we're creating these. It's the fact that people are already doing this normally because this is normal communication. Let's go into level 2. So level 2 is generally 2 to 4. There's an overlap, right? The 3 things is, 1, being mentally present. 2, building urgency, and then 3 is develop trust. So the mentally present, there's a bunch of different tricks for it. I like to go memorize all the customers' names in the area. I'm just ADD, I get distracted. And so for me, I like to go look at the customers and just remember every single person I'm talking to. Why? Because it keeps me engaged. It keeps me mentally present there. I like to eliminate distractions. Put your phone on do not disturb so you can't see it. Building urgency, recognizing what the actual problems are. And if you're starting with mentally present, you walk up to the house and you're seeing the spiders, you're seeing the ants in the yard. You're mentally present. So you're aware of what you can go build urgency with. Building urgency, are you focused on preventative or are you focused on the current situation they have now, right? And then developing trust, that is just, and you can start seeing it because if they're like, hey, can I just have a card or whatever it is? Or I want to look you up first. Like I don't make decisions on the spot. Why? It's because they don't trust you, right? And so it's just building up the different skill sets, the different things that affect those 3. And if your thought is, well, give me more, tell me more of what I can go do to go do these things, then my response is go be proactive. That's how you go learn, right? Go do what it takes to go level up. So hitting on the hot bugs, one of the big things. Engaging strong intro. You'll realize that the better your intro is, they start admitting that they have bugs. They start trusting you immediately. So it's not just a cliche. We're not just saying it just to say it, that the first 10 to 15 seconds is the most important part of your pitch. They are. That's the reason why we train on that the most. Because if you have a really, really good intro, then people want to buy from you a lot quicker. You won't get the objections that a lot of other people get or that you would have gotten otherwise. Name dropping builds trust, right? Because, okay, if Becky trusts you, she's a really good decision maker. So I trust her. I don't have to go do my research, right? So you get effective with that. Blowing up the problem. They have certain ants. They may not see the problem in the same way. I mean, think about roaches. They have German roaches. If there's one on the counter, there's what? I mean, you can go Google it, but it's like 50 in the walls, right? So that's huge. But if they're only seeing 10, 15 roaches, they're like, it's not that big of a deal. 10, 15 roaches, 500 roaches in the wall, right? On the low end. So that is huge. That's gross. It's the same thing. It's like, go use that for all the different ants. Go use that for everything. Go blow up the problem. Get really, really good at that. And then urgency, obviously, and that's part of just blowing up the problem. So the paraverbal's is that changing the pace. This is something I realize pretty consistently with them. And honestly, this kind of trickles into level 3 as well. But you can speak quickly, and it's not just a black and white speak slowly or speak fast. I can go speak faster in certain parts and then slower in certain parts. So the only reason I'm not by take care of the Johnsons right over here as well as the Petersons. Obviously, with the rain, everyone is still getting a ton of these spiders and wasps, obviously like the ants. If I can fit you guys in, I'm doing it cheap. Do you see that? And I'm not saying that's like the perfect way to go do it, but I'm saying that you can go change the pace. And so that's a lot with pauses, and that's a lot with the speed. Volume. I like this a lot more because the thing is we struggle with emphasis. When I go do it, I don't actually necessarily say everyone is still getting a ton of spiders and wasps because that's like base level, right? Or going into the price, I actually just soften my volume because why? It pulls the customer in. So look, it's normally $349 to start you out. After I come out every other month, it's cheap, it's just $159. But look, if I can fit you in while I'm already out here, I'm taking $200 off the initial service. Doing that first one for just $149. And that's still for everything. Best part is a warranty might work. Do you see how it's a bringing it in? It's not just a flat, monotone, boring thing. And then using the pauses to maintain control, meaning that if they're interrupting you, if you're remembering level 1, you're pausing so that they can interrupt you. This one is, if I'm in an area where everybody's interrupting me, then I change where I'm putting pauses. I stop putting it in the normal place. So I'm Tanner with Moxie Pest Control. The only reason I'm stopping by, I take care of the Johnsons right? And that's just the principle of it. I'm not telling you to say it specifically like that. The principle is controlling it. Body language. Honestly, the biggest thing is it just matches the paraverbals. So when you're first starting, you go like this. So I do two things really well. That's why all your neighbors give me a shot. And then you pause. What the heck are you pointing at already? You haven't started the yard, right? So just your body language matches what you're saying, what you're doing. So yeah, I do two things really well. That's why all of your neighbors give me a shot. Like the first thing I have to do when I come out is treat your yard. It's all fluid. It just goes together, which is normal communication. Level 3. So this, the number one thing, that's why I put it all in caps, is adaptable. You show up and you're selling in a certain area and you learn how to go adapt to that, to the hot bugs, to whatever's happening. So if there's a ton of rain, you can go adapt to the fact that there's rain and you're utilizing that. There's a power outage, go utilize that, right? Like and I'm not saying utilize power outage to go get sales. I just had a rep a couple days ago that there was a power outage in the whole city, and he just made light of it. He's like, hey, he walked up to the front porch and like, you guys power out? And they're like, yeah, you are here to take care of it? And he like walks up, he's like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm out here because everyone's beginning to tend the spiders and wasps, right? And so he like just goes into it. It's like no, just like the power outage, just like nobody has power, everybody's also getting the ants. And it just makes it light. You're adaptable to the area. The connecting with customers. I'm going to go into two things. I'm going to depth with those in a different training. But if you can go connect with the customers, I think that's the biggest thing. And so this is where you kind of bleeds in, because in reality, if you're not connecting with customers, it's pretty hard to go consistently get sales. If you're really good at connecting with customers always, and you have a foundation of level 2, level 1, then those are the people that are selling 8 to 12 accounts on a pretty regular basis, right? And then building value. So the icebreaker. I think if there's two things that are super important in connecting with the customers, one is the icebreaker, which generally speaking, by the way, I don't think that you need to go fake it because they can see that. So you stop building trust. You don't actually connect with it. Like if I see an ugly dog, I'm not going to say, oh, your dog is so cute, because that doesn't make sense, because I just don't believe it. But I'm just like, I'm like, awesome. How many dogs do you guys have? Right? Because then I'm showing interest in what the customer is interested in. That doesn't mean I have to go share my opinion, right? Where sometimes we just get so centered on ourselves that we think that everybody wants our opinion. Sometimes they don't. Transition questions. This is probably one of the biggest things that I've seen in top producing reps is when they get an objection, they neutralize, and the cycle is neutralize, transition, add value, close, right? What happens in between the neutralize and the transition statement is a transition question. So like, for example, I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, of course. How long have y'all been living around here? Control question. We've been here for about 6 months. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So obviously you haven't been here quite for the summer yet. And then you dive into it, right? And you don't have to use those exact words. I'm going into principles. But that's each time, and knowing when to do that and when they're going to just shut the door in your face if you ask a question, and making sure you're not asking like 20 questions in a row, right? I mean, most of the time, you shouldn't ask more than one question in a row. Value stacking, being able to go back and summarize things. So look, not only am I training the full yard, the entire roof line, every single window, every single door, the full foundation of the home. Look, if you give me a shot, I'll even do the back deck completely for free, right? So it's like building it up. So you can start selling on certain things, but then it starts to climax. You start stacking things on top of each other. Paraverbals. When I go into the paraverbals and body language, what I want you to understand is actually just generally mastering the adaptability side of it. And so it is the foundation of everything else. But the two biggest things, one is the change in inflections and pitch to where it's not an absolute. You can have up pitches sometimes. You can have down pitches sometimes. Inflections is within words that just make it the pitch and the tone and the inflections kind of leads into the singing, right? The rhythm of what you're going through when you're talking to customers. And it also changes the focus of the way as well. So like if you're saying he is the problem, or let's say I'm going to give him a $10 bonus, right? Or a $10 discount. Or I'm going to give him a $10 discount. Or I'm going to give him a $10 discount. Or I'm going to give him a $10 discount, right? Each time, depending on the word, you can go change it. So that's like the inflections, right? The other thing, the emotional coloring, this is just getting better at overall paraverbals and body language, and the words you're saying are matching. So coloring is you're adding the emotion to the thing. So look, if you don't do this, you will never get rid of the nesting sites of the ants, right? Like it's like you're actually like going in with it. You'll never get rid of those. And so it's the adding the emotion to what you're trying to say. So if you're excited about something, it's like, dude, like this is the best part. If you see anything between treatments, call me. I'll come back out for free and retreat. That was more exaggerated, but the principle is there, right? And then body language, one of them is mirroring, just having that mastered, and then the facial expressions. So once again, we don't want poker face. We want actual change in expressions. And so if you're looking at it, it's just everything just is more cohesive. So let's look at this. This is all together. The sales skills, and then the principles to go focus on. Whatever you're at, if you're not getting sales very regularly, yeah, trickle into these. These are all important. These are the biggest things. If you're not getting sales consistently, in general, you're not being persistent enough, you're not working hard enough, and or you're not being happy, right? And then as you start building it up, start seeing what you have to do. If you can go master all of those, then obviously you're selling usually over 5 a day when you have them down. That doesn't mean that you always get over 5 a day. There's some areas where it's harder to adapt, right? Sometimes it's just easy. Sometimes it's harder. Sometimes it's harder for you. So somebody else could have adapted easier in that area, right? And that's the fun. That's why it's the game. And so it's not always, we all have our different strengths and weaknesses. So it's learning how to go get better and better at that, right? Hopefully this was helpful. I want you to go look at where you're at and look at what you need to go achieve and what you need to go level up. Be proactive though. Go decide what you need to go do and go deep dive into how you can actually go achieve that.